At the start of the movie, we are shown two brothers, the younger one of whom was named Nitan. He was fondly called Nat. Both the brothers secretly go to a museum and try to steal a map. But then the police officer arrives there and catches both the brothers and takes them to another fun house. Actually, both of them did not have parents, and both of them used to live in orphanages from the beginning, and Nat's elder brother had tried many times to steal this map, because Nat and his brother belonged to a family of pirates, and the map had the secret of a very big treasure hidden in it. Now the sister of that orphanage tells the police officer that Nat is still young. You people can take his elder brother with you because he used to steal despite being forbidden repeatedly. But here Nat's elder brother did not want to surrender himself to the police, so now he decides to run away from here. Now he goes to his room on the pretext of packing himself. Nate tells his elder brother that I cannot live without you. Here Nate's elder brother gives him a locket lighter and a letter and leaves from there saying that I will definitely come back. Nate after his elder brother leaves. When he opens the letter and puts the light of the lighter on it, he gets a message. It was written in that letter that remember we belong to the pirates family and we will definitely meet. After this, the scene shifts, and we are shown the scene after 15 years. We see Nate, who had grown up now, and he used to work in a bar and also used to do petty theft. One day when Nate was working in his bar, a man named Victor comes to him. He tells him that I know you and your brother. He tells that some time ago we were working together. What did we do? But Nate was not interested in knowing about this. He asks Victor to leave from there, but Victor leaves a card for him before leaving. Victor's actress was written on that card. In the episode, we see that Nate goes to Victor's house. He goes to his house and sees the same map which he and his brother had tried to steal many years ago. Then Victor also comes there. Victor says that if you had to come earlier, then you should have told me then. Here Nate tells Victor that this is the same map for which many people worked very hard to find, and this is a treasure map, and many people gave up their lives by going on the path of this map, and they did not get anything, and this was a nonsense story. Victor tells Nate, this is not a nonsense story, and I know that you and your brother have a lot of information about this map. Then after this, Victor shows Nate a book there. In that book, he shows a picture of a ship. This ship is not an ordinary ship, but it is a very old ship, and its cost is 500,000, and a lot of treasure is also hidden in that ship, which was hidden there by 18 people together. And when Nate had so much information about this treasure, how could Victor let him go? And now he offers him to work with him. But Nate rejects his offer. Then Victor tells him that if you support me, then you can also get your elder brother. Nate goes home and goes home. He starts looking at his elder brother's things, and after this, he agrees to work with Victor. The next morning, we see Nate showing a cross sign to Victor. He says that this is not a cross sign, but the key to reach that treasure. On which Victor says that I have one key and we will have to steal the other key soon. Victor tells Nat that the other key is in an auction company, and very soon they are going to auction that key, and soon we have to steal that key from there. Now Victor has to go to that company and steal that key. He steals it. When he was coming back from there after stealing the key, a girl named Brad comes there and puts a knife on Victor's throat and says, "Give me the key," and she was doing all this on the orders of her boss, and this girl was also Victor's old enemy. Now when both of them were fighting for the key, some guards come there. Victor takes advantage of those guards and manages to get out of there with the key. Now after taking the key, Victor takes Nate to Park Lona. There they meet a girl named Fraser. Fraser already knew Victor, but she did not know Nate. Fraser asks Victor, "Who is this?" Then Victor tells Fraser that he is my old friend. Here Nate comes to know that the other key is not with Victor but with Fraser. Then Nate asks Victor, "Why did you lie to me?" Fraser says that maybe you do not know about it properly. You do not know. Now when both of them are arguing with each other, she runs away from there with the freezer and the key. Nate was running behind Freezer and Freezer was ahead. Freezer sits in her car and tries to leave from there, but Nate comes in front of her car and Vector also comes there. He tells Freezer that if you want all the treasure, then take it, but you do not know where and when these keys will be used, and only Nate knows about all this. After hearing this, Freezer agrees to work with both of them. Nate tells them that many years ago, those 18 people had hidden that treasure in the church. Now all 3 of them reach the church. After reaching there, Nate starts counting the cards given by his brother, which confirms that he is at the right location. Now all 3 of them secretly reach the basement of the church. There they also find a place to put the key. The place of the key was under a statue. Now here he did not know that on which side the key has to be turned. He reads and says that both the keys have to be turned gloopwise. On doing this, a statue came out of the statue. Some arrows start coming out, but none of the 3 get hurt. After this, taking a risk again, Nat and Freezer turn the keys anti-clockwise, after which a path emerges from behind the statue. That path was going through a cave. Then Nat tells Victor that after passing through this path, we will have to go not through one path, but through 2 different paths. He says that Freezer and I will go through one path, and you will go through another path. After this, Nat and Victor connect their phones with GPS. Now Nat and Freezer go through one path, while Victor goes through the other. While going through that cave, Nat and Freezer reach a bar. There was another secret path there about which no one knew. They go on that path. Before this, some people attack them there. Nat fights to stop that man, and Freezer tries to open that path. As soon as that door opens, Nat and Freezer run away from that path. After going inside, they see a third door which could be opened with the same cross key. As soon as Freezer tries to open that door, water will start filling there. This happens because to open that door, the key has to be put on the other door and opened first. Only Victor could open it. Victor was trying to open the other side door, but then the same girl comes there who had attacked Victor earlier, and a fierce fight starts between them. On the other side, Nate and Freezer were stuck in the water and were about to faint there. Vector kills that girl and makes her unconscious and quickly puts the key in that door. After this, Nate and Freezer are saved and come out of that door safely. They try to go to the door, but no one knew how to open that door. Victor was standing outside and watching them both from a hole. But then Nate uses his brain there. He tells Freezer to go and get another key from Victor, but Victor doesn't trust them and refuses to give them another key. Nate refuses, but after a while, Victor gives the key because he had no other option. Nate sees that there was a symbol on that door. When he merges both those keys, the same symbol is formed which was on that door, due to which they are now able to open that door as well. When they enter inside that door, they see 3 big ports as soon as they enter. On the other hand, Victor was repeatedly asking Nate whether he found the treasure or not. Nate lifts up the freezer to see what is in those pods. When she looks at the freezer, there was a lot of salt in those pods. This meant that there was no treasure here. Then all 3 pods suddenly break. They see that a map comes out of them, and this map was also the real map to go to that treasure. Now when Nate was looking at the map, this freezer points a gun at him. She says, "Do you think Victor has told you everything truthfully?" She hits the gun on Nate's head and knocks him unconscious. She leaves from there with the map, and while leaving she also takes those geese. After this, Victor comes to Nate. He sees that Nate is unconscious. When Nate regains consciousness, both of them come to know that Fraser has deceived them and run away. When Nate regains consciousness, He asks Victor, "Where is my brother, and what have you hidden from me?" Now Victor tells him that I and your brother had set out to find treasure many years ago, for which we had to steal a book, but we stole that book. After this, when we started coming back, the people of Modconda fired on us. In that firing, your brother got hit by a bullet, due to which he died. Hearing this, Nate becomes very emotional. He starts crying. He tells Victor that you left my brother to die, and now you are using me again to reach that treasure. Then Victor says that, okay, I lied. But your brother also wanted that after his death, you fulfill his dream. Nate tells Victor that, okay, I will reach that treasure for my brother. I will definitely go. After this, our paths will separate. After this, we see Freezer with Brad and his boss. That is, Freezer was working for both of them. Now, the boss of Bread tells Bread that from today onwards, you will work under Freezer, and after this, Bread's boss along with his entire team leave in a plane in search of the treasure, and they also take the necessary items with them. Bread, sitting in the plane, was saying that the treasure was mine. And it was lost from my family many years ago, but then suddenly Pred comes and slits the throat of her boss from behind. After killing the boss, Freezer understands that she will kill him too. So, to save her life, she bends down in the car that was in the plane. On this, Bread tells his men that as soon as you see Freezer, you should immediately fire on him. Now they were searching for Freezer there. Then we see Nate and Victor, who had come to that plane by hiding in the trunk of a car. Now, when all of them were searching for Freezer, taking advantage of this, Nat and Victor steal the map. After this, there is firing between Brad and Freezer as well. They are firing at each other. Victor tells Nat that we have found the map, so we have to quickly take the parachute and leave from here. Here, Victor jumps with the parachute. But Nat stops there and tells Brad that you had killed my brother. He opens all the doors there by touching them with the parachute. As all the luggage of the plane starts falling to the left. There, Brad's people start firing at Nat and Victor. Then Nat's foot gets stuck in the belt of the cargo. Nose, and he starts flying out in the air along with that luggage, but after a lot of effort, he comes back to the plane from the para. Then Freezer was about to jump from the plane with a big car. Nat was standing there. Then Nat also falls down again with the car. Now when both of them were falling down, Freezer tells Nate to open the parachute quickly, but here Nate had not taken any parachute. Now both of them were flying in the air. They were flying in the sky, but then Nat quickly opens the parachute of a cargo, and both of them go on that cargo. After going on that parachute, both of them land on the sea. Now they reached a beach. After reaching there, they stay in a hotel. After going to that hotel, both of them try to understand the map, but Fresher does not understand anything here, and she goes to sleep comfortably. But Nat works hard here the whole night and understands that map, and also makes some notes. When Fresher wakes up in the morning, she sees that Nat has also made notes after understanding the map, and she shouts again here. She takes that note and leaves for the treasure. When Nat wakes up in the morning, he sees that the note is missing from there, and seeing this, he starts to worry. Actually, Nat had mentioned the wrong location on that note, and the real location was with Nat only. In the video, we see that Nate reaches the location in the end board, which was in a cave on an island. On the other side, Nate was also keeping an eye on the print. Nate swims in the water and reaches the cave where he sees two very big ships. So many people lost their lives while searching for them. When Nate goes inside that ship, he finds a lot of gold there, but then he hears Victor's voice from behind. Victor had also reached there, and seeing this, Nate gets very scared and asks, "How did you come here?" So he says to him, "Did you forget? Did you?" So I had connected myself to my GPS. Now when both of them were looking at that treasure together, then Bread also comes there with his people. Seeing those people, both Nate and Victor hide. Bread then calls her entire team and was going to take both those ships from there through a plane, because along with the treasure, the price of that ship was also in crores. Now Victor and Nate come out of that ship. Both of them now make a plan to check that ship. They come to the front of the ship there and start fighting with all the guards there. Here Nate was also beating all the guards a lot. He throws the guards down in the water. Now after killing each guard one by one, they check the plane. When Bread sees this, she gets angry. She gets those people attacked from another ship. Victor was flying the helicopter fast to escape from Bread and his people. Bread was already after him. After this, Bread's people come on Nate's ship. All of them were fighting with Nate, but then Bread was about to hit Nate's ship from the front. Nate attacks Bread's helicopter with an old cannon. This destroys his helicopter, and then his ship also hits a mountain and gets completely destroyed. But Bread escapes from there, and now she attacks Nate's ship. She tells Nate that what cannot be mine cannot be anyone's, and after saying this, she throws the ship's NJ in the sea, due to which the ship and helicopter are unable to move forward, and Victor's bag full of gold also starts falling down. He autopilots his helicopter and goes to save that bag. Meanwhile, Bread and Nate were fighting with each other on the ship below. Nate now somehow tries to climb on the helicopter while escaping, and Bread was also following him. Here Victor sacrifices the bag full of gold. He hits it on the bread, after which the bread falls in the water. But then the rope of the ship which was hanging from the helicopter also breaks. Now Victor somehow lifts the net up. Nat pulls it, but the whole ship falls on Nat, due to which Nat dies and the ship breaks and starts breaking there. Nat tells Victor that we can still get this gold, but Victor refuses. He says that now all this gold belongs to the government. Those people are coming to take it, after which Victor starts driving the helicopter sadly. Then Nat tells him not to be sad, and then he starts taking out the gold from his pocket one by one, and both of them start knowing happily. At the end of the movie, we see that a motorboat is chasing Nat and Victor, which was none other than the Freezer. Nat had fooled him, and we see that Nat's brother was still alive, who was locked in a jail, and with this the movie ends here.